Hi Quilt Escape fans, I finally have the second version of the Deer Creek Lodge sampler, and this is the one that I'm doing in the rows. So if you look behind me, and I'm going to step over here, you're going to see it, and you'll see that I have it in row 1, row 2, row 3. I didn't get row 4 up here yet because I really can't fit it all on. Now what's really interesting about this, the way it's going to hook up, is that you're going to piece this flying geese sashing. Notice how it's going to go to the left, and then the next row is going to go to the right, and then I'm working on the third row, and it will go back to the left. Now, I'm actually going to show you the secret behind this unit because there's a few pieces that I had to add in that you may not notice. I decided to use a tan fabric that kind of floats the blocks so that it's not a big contrast, but it leaves a lot of spacing around the blocks, and I think that looks better. What we're going to make today, you see the tall pines? We do have that video up on my website now called quiltwithcindy.com. All the videos that we've done for this whole quilt are on the new website. And if you need a refresher on how to make these flying geese, then go to the video that's about the tall pines to make those flying geese. But right now what I want to point out, and here, look at this board. Drew, follow me over here. I've got my flying geese units, and notice that I have a little 1/2-inch strip in between. And that was necessary because these are 3 by 6, and they would have finished at 12.5. And remember, our blocks finish with a 13-inch seam allowance. So in order to get this all to fit together with our blocks, I needed to throw in this little strip. So that's what I've done. And I'm actually going to piece this really quickly for you. And I'm going to take these over to the sewing machine, and I'm just going to throw them together, right sides together. And you'll see how this is going to feed underneath the sewing machine really quickly. And then this is my little spacer, and I'll show you how I put that in. This is not hard at all, but it was needed because, once again, it wasn't going to fit exactly mathematically, and we want it to fit mathematically, if you will. And it does come out perfectly when you add this little spacer. Anytime you have to do that, anytime you have to use a spacer, it's best to match it to that background fabric. And that way, once the quilting's there, you're really not going to notice it. You will notice it now because you have a pieced quilt up on the wall and you can see it. But you won't notice it when you get it all quilted. It will just blend right in. So that's the main reason I am using that. So now with this one, I need to kind of give it a little extra tug, get it down here where I want it. There it goes. Just what I needed. Now rather than jump up and down to the iron just to make this, and I'll press it all when I'm ready, but I'm going to go ahead and just press this with the wooden iron, and that way you can instantly see what's going to happen. Now this is the first two. I was very consistent. If you look back up here, you will notice this dark green, and then the bright green, then another bright green, and another dark green. So I've kept that pattern, those fabrics, consistent. Now I'm going to add our little strip right here from top to bottom in between, and then I'll add the other piece on. And this is actually the final row for this last flying geese sashing. And This isn't going to take very long to do. Just stick it on. And by the way, this is an inch. Your directions will also be on the new website, quiltwithcindy.com, and it will be a PDF, and you can download that PDF, and it'll give you all the cutting, everything that you need to know in order to get this done. So, and it's easy. It's really easy. So just simply go ahead and press this with the wooden iron, and then let's add this other piece on, and we'll be ready to go. Every time I open these up, just note that I am pressing the seam allowance towards this dark piece here, which is the big flying geese right here. So every time I'm pushing it away from the background. Now we're going to put this on top here, and we're simply going to sew these two together, and this will be a completed unit. Okay, so here we go. Very, very, very easy to make. And this is your fast flying geese method. Again, you'll see that in the tall pines video, and it goes together really well. It's worth mentioning that it takes 4 green fabrics, so you're going to pick 4 green fabrics and then the one background. So here we go. We've got it done now. And as you can see, there it is. Nice, easy to do, not difficult. Now I'm going to put it on to the end of this. One thing I want to point out to you is that in between, here's my piece now. In between, you see that I have a connecting strip right here. It's a little sashing piece. This is it. So let me just go up here and show you on the wall, why do I have that? And I want to explain it. So let me get right here. And as you can see, each of the blocks is separated with a 2.5-inch strip. So then what I needed to do here was insert a 2.5-inch strip to separate the flying geese. So this whole row is hooked up just like this. Now what's good about this is I pressed all the seam allowances away here. So they're, in other words, they're pushed this way to the dark. In this, on the blocks, I pushed them towards the sashing. So when we flip this up, right sides together, they'll be set up as opposing seam allowances, and that's going to work out really, really well. So this is a very simple thing. It's just like a continuation of this piece, but I like it here. No cornerstone, but this helps us hook this whole row up and keep everything nice and straight. So my final piece here needs to be added on, and I actually have that add-on piece, Drew, if you can see it right there. And all I need to do is sew this unit here to this, and we will have the final row of flying geese sashing, and it will be complete. And once I do that, there's one more border that we're going to talk about, and that's coming up. We're going to talk about a piece border, and that's your first border after you complete your sashing. And it's really actually a lot of fun to make, and I hope you'll enjoy doing it. All right. Okay, this whole sashing piece is finished, just like that. And believe me, this does go very, very quickly. So we are pressing this out and away from the center so that it will be set up for an opposing match. So I'm just flattening that, and when I'm ready, I'll go over there and press that. So here's a sashing strip. Now I want to put this down, and I want to take you to a piece border. So let me hop up here and point this out over here. You can start to see them right here. Here's the squares. But you're going to build it like this. So you're going to put 4 strips together and subcut. So that's what I'm going to show you. Now, this is, wait a minute, I got to go that way. because we don't want the same colors to line up. All right, here we go. This is what I did. Now let me pull this in so that Drew can get this on the video. You're going to make a strip set, a panel. And what I want you to do is to select out of your stash, I want you to select 4 greens, 4 browns, 4 reds, and 4 blues. Then I want you to group them together. So I'm kind of showing you some of mine. Here's another one. It's totally different if I wanted to put the blue there and this would hook up here, as you can see. But I'm just going to lay it up there. So you want, again, 4 greens, 4 browns, 4 reds, and 4 blues. Then you're going to go over to your mat, your rotary cutter, and you're going to subcut this at 3.5. All of these strips are cut 3.5 inches wide. And by the way, I intentionally cut 1 strip out of each fabric and intentionally cut them in half so that they were only 21 inches long. Much easier to keep track of that, much easier to sew it. You're not going to get any wobbly lines. And then you're going to be able to subcut them. And when you go to put this up on the wall on your quilt, I use the wall, but you're going to have 4 different sets. So you're not going to have any repeats, which makes it really good. So I have 4 sets up here now, and this one that's at the top, I would now be hooking up here. So, and that's pretty much going to take me down to the bottom. But it is 24, you'll need 24 squares on the long sides, and you need 22 across the top. So this is very, very easy to do. It's just a simple sew the strips, cut them, they're 3.5, sew the strips with your 1/4 inch seams, and then subcut them, and then hook them together, and you've got your beautiful piece border. So that's basically the hardest part about putting this together. When you look at your pattern online, your PDF, what you're going to have is a suggested layout. You certainly can arrange your blocks any way you want, what you like. So don't feel like, oh, I have to put this one with that one. No, you put the blocks you want, where you want them, in any row that you choose. And I hope you've been having fun with this. I certainly have, and I appreciate you coming along with me on this Deer Creek adventure. And I hope you'll visit my new website, quiltwithcindy.com, where you're going to be able to see all those videos on YouTube now. Thanks so much and have a great day.